Om Shanti. So, welcome to your meditation class. I'll just quickly introduce myself and then we will open today's session. So, Om Shanti guys, my name is Soumya and I will be guiding you through your meditation sessions for this month. So, let's open our class for today, right? So, sit comfortably, keep your back and neck straight. And very gently close your eyes. Just start connecting with the natural flow of your breathing. Watch each and every breath as it flows in and as it flows out. Just stay with the pure breath. Slowly shift your attention to your body. Become aware of the posture. Align your back, neck. Relax your face. Relax your shoulders. And now gently come back to your breathing once again. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Slow, long and deep inhalations. Slow, long and deep exhalations. We will open today's session by chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. So deep breath in Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibration. Now join both palms together and begin to rub the palms. Keep your palms on your eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms. Yeah. Come back this way. And sharply. Let us begin our session for today. So I hope I'm clearly audible and visible. Yeah.
Yes, it's good. Thank you.
Awesome. So can I have a very short introduction from your side?
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm from Indonesia, and I've been practicing yoga for almost 10 years, but it was on and off. So recently, I want to get more in depth into yoga, and that's why I joined this course. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. So I'll also briefly introduce myself. My name is Soumya, and I will be leading you through your meditation sessions for the entire month. Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
great. Let us begin with our session for today. Right. So I have a very big question for you. And that question is what is meditation?
Well, for me, meditation is like when we're back into ourselves. We are focused not on the outside world. We're focused on what's currently happening, and when we're doing the meditation, such as breathing or listening to bird sounds or such. I thought.
All right. Okay. So today's class is mostly introductory class. So we are going to discuss what meditation is, where we are coming from to reach meditation, and where we are headed through meditation. Right? Okay. Because we need to gain an understanding of which process is meditation and which process is not. And then we also need to understand why we are doing this, right? Why would I want to do something if I don't know where it's going, right? So just to clarify the target, the real goal of what meditation is, we are going to have a discussion, and then hopefully if we have time, we are going to go for a practical session as well, right? So meditation, this term is the English term for a word, Sanskrit or Hindi word, which is called dhyan. Right? So I'll just write down the things in the chat box. Okay. Or maybe I'll just share the whiteboard. Right. All right. So sorry for the okay. I'm not able to get N right. DHYANA. Dhyan. All right, so this is the Sanskrit or Hindi word for meditation. And you can split this in two parts. Okay. DHI T plus YANA. Okay. DH, this is I. T plus yang. Okay. So, when I say something in one language and then I say it translated and say it in another language, so it loses some essence. Okay. So suppose if you take this example only, dhyan, this term in English, it was translated to meditation. All right. So when we, hear this term, meditation, there is something that pops up in the mind. Okay. And for most of the people who are practicing meditation today, it's done with this, understanding, right? That whatever stress, suppose you are facing some stress or you are having some physical disease. So, a lot of people, they recommend that you should go and do some meditation, or this meditation will help you, that meditation will help you. Okay. So as soon as this term dhyan turned into meditation, right? It was viewed more as a tool for tackling the day-to-day stressors, day-to-day, emotional variations, or just trying to maintain or set off. Set off is the right word. So if suppose my day was full of ups and downs, so maybe at the end of the day, I just want to neutralize that thing. So I will sit for 10 minutes in silence, observing my breath, and then I will maybe go to sleep. Okay. So what I did through the meditation practice, whatever happened in my day, I just don't want to take those thoughts to bed with me, or I feel that those are very stressful. So some meditation will help me calm those down, and hence I will be able to sleep better. Right. So meditation, this term, is mostly turning the entire concept of the practice into a tool which can help you to manage certain situations. Okay. But the actual scope, the actual meaning is much wider than that. Okay. So when I come to the term dhyan, so if you, especially if you have been to India, right, and you have heard people talk, right? So dhyan, this term is a very, commonly used term in our language, right? Whenever we do something, people say dhyan se karo, right? So do it, more carefully, right? Or you can say that, do it with more awareness, right? So it could be used for anything, like eating food. So you can say that, dhyan se khao, right? Eat food more mindfully, right? So it's not merely seen as a practice which is done sitting at a particular spot, or just something you have to show up for. So like you show up on your mat to do the yogic practices, right? So it's not merely restricted to the dimensions of the mat. Once you get up, move out of the mat, then how you are conducting yourself, that feeling and that scope is captured by this term called dhyan, right? When each and every activity, right, the quality of that activity, now I can say, I can put dhyan in front of it, right? Walking, you can say, walk more mindfully, right? So dhyan is used, if you come in India, it's imbibed in the day-to-day living itself, right? It comes in conduction. If somebody is practicing meditation, it should come or show up in the conduct rather than what they are doing, for how long they have been practicing. All of these things are secondary, right? But if it is not changing the way in which I'm doing each and every activity that I do, then I'm limiting the scope, okay, of the practice. The practice has very big potential, very big scope. Okay. So I have split this term into two parts. First, I've written dhi, and then yan, yana. Right. So this term means mind. Okay. Oh, I don't have space here, but this term means mind. And yan, this term means movement. Yan means movement. All right. So dhyan is the stage where the movement of the mind ceases to exist. All right. The mind is not moving anymore. The mind is stable. So this is a state of the mind. Meditation or dhyan is a state of the mind where the movement of the mind gets suspended, right? So all the time when you're having thoughts, your mind is moving, right? Either you're having thoughts related to the past, maybe something that happened in the past and you are thinking about it, you're contemplating about it, or maybe you are just reflecting back upon it, right? And on other times when it's not running back in the past, when the movement is not towards the past, the movement is towards the future, right? Where I can imagine what I want in my future, or I am worried about what will happen in the future, right? So there are essentially only two places the movement takes place. Okay. Either the mind, it will take you back into whatever happened in the past, or it will move towards something which has no basis of existence altogether. All right. Okay. So this movement of the mind is generally taking place for most of us, right? So for most of us, mind is either running towards the past or towards the future, and this movement is causing us disturbance, right? So like if some memory comes up which is very emotional for you, right? So it's doing what? By moving into the past, the mind is creating, triggering that kind of emotion, right? So the movement is there. And you can also get worried about the future, right? Anything related to the future. But there is a series of thoughts that come in, series of disturbances that come in once I choose where I want to move, right? Towards my future also I could want to move. But when I move towards the future, thoughts of the future also, there is movement or disturbance that is being caused there, right? So dhyan is the state where this movement of the mind is suspended, right? So currently it will take us time. Why? Because we have not done the training of the mind. Okay. For this state of the mind to occur, proper training of the mind has to be done, right? Because right now mind is trained to either go in the past or jump in the future. Now through the practices that we will do in these classes, we will give the mind the training to not move, all right? Or we will give the mind an anchor to keep it stable in one spot, all right? And this is what dhyan is, all right? So I'll just briefly stop sharing and then I will share once again. Okay. So
recording in progress.
So coming back to this discussion only. So this meditative state of mind, it's very important and essential to also understand this thing, that this is not something, meditation is not something which, if you decide today I'm going to do meditation, right? It's going to, you cannot practice meditation. Meditation is something that happens to you. All right. It's an effortless state. When the mind is not making this effort to jump around in previous things or future things, because jumping requires effort, no? If I want to think of something in the past, there is some effort that is required. If I want to think of something in the future, the mind is moving and the movement is requiring effort, right? So meditation is the state where this movement is not there. And This non-movement, it's with zero resistance. There is no effort. It's an effortless process, right? Everything you do around it, which is requiring effort, it's just preparing you for meditation. It's just making sure that you are creating enough space for this process or state of mind of meditation to occur. All right. So you, in fact, the day you will, keep your mind strong and say, today I'm going to, no matter what happens in today's class, I'm going to do meditation, right? That very day you will not be able to. Why? Because this doesn't require effort. It requires suspension of effort, right? All the efforts, they get suspended, and that stage is what meditation is. Okay. So let's try to understand where we are coming from and where we are headed now. All right. Okay. If there are any doubts, questions, queries, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask if anything is not clear. So I'll just share the screen once again. Okay. So this stage of meditation, first very important, term that we need to understand is in your when you read about the 8 limbs of yoga, you will come across these terms, so don't get overwhelmed. Okay. Okay, sorry. So first term, which is of utmost importance to us, is I'm not able to type that, like write that well on this. I'll just give it one more shot. Otherwise, I'll write it down in the chat box only. Okay. This is R. Okay. Pratyahar. Pratyahar. This is the first term of utmost relevance to us. Then we have dharana. After pratyahar, what happens? Dharana happens. Okay, second thing. And third thing, after dharana, what happens? Dhyan happens. The main point of discussion over here is meditation only. And then after dhyan, what happens? Samadhi. All right. So from pratyahar, we move to dharana. This is R. Again. From dharana, we move to dhyan, and from dhyan, we move to samadhi. Okay. So pratyahar, this term actually means withdrawal of senses. Okay, you can write down in bracket with this term, withdrawal of senses. Okay, so for beginner level, right, it is very important that the senses are withdrawn. Okay, now you will say, I've seen so many people, they are doing, meditation when they are walking, they are doing meditation when they are eating. Yes, eventually meditation is supposed to, like I said in the beginning only, it's supposed to become a part of your life, right? However you are doing each and every activity. But for a beginner, it is very important to first withdraw these senses, right? So if there is some noise around you, you are sitting in meditation, there is some noise around you. right? You want to do meditation, but there is noise. So you will see, you will not be able to, even develop focus at that point of time, right? Why? Because sense objects are very capturing in nature, right? If my eyes are open, so you will see a lot of people, they close their eyes when they sit for meditation. So if my eyes are open, now any movement in the place around me, it's going to, capture my attention. And it's not even necessary there is a movement. Maybe there is some object which I, really like looking at. All right. So my eyes, they will get completely, um, they will try to, capture that object or look at that object uh, with, more focus and concentration. So what will happen? Whatever I'm trying to do when, I'm doing meditation, I will get distracted by the object. Okay. Similarly, for other senses also, if you are trying to focus on something and some other sense object appeals to you, right? If your sense is able to capture that thing, it will easily go with that thing, right? It would easily go away with that thing, and you will forget the work you have to do, right? So the first and most basic step to reach the state of meditation is to withdraw the senses, right? So we sit in a particular space, we close the eyes, right? We try to sit in a quiet place when we do meditation. So what are we doing? We are creating the conducive environment for the withdrawal of the senses, right? When my senses are withdrawn, I can move to the next stage, which is called dharana, right? Dharana, 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 right? Dharana, this means concentration. Okay. So now this stage of concentration, once I withdraw, I will choose a particular object. Okay. I will choose a particular object and I will give the mind the work to focus on that object. So let's take the example of breathing. So when you close your eyes, when you sit for breathing, like breath awareness, right? So what you do, you close the eyes and then you just try to focus on your breathing. And what happens as you begin to focus on your breathing, you suddenly remember something you had to do, or something comes up which has a very strong hold on you, like some maybe past thought which is troubling you, or maybe some future worry which is troubling you, right? So what happens, you get disconnected from the breath and you go after the thought, right? So then you think about that thought again and again, or you process that thing, and suddenly along the way you remember, I was told to focus on my breathing, right? So what you do, you make the effort to bring the mind back to the breathing, right? Then again you come back to the breath, you stay with the breath, and again the mind runs away, right? So in the process of dharana or concentration, first thing, there is effort. All right. So I constantly put in effort to bring my mind back. It is still having this movement, right? This moving tendency is still existing, and I am putting in whatever effort I can in order to come back to the object that I have chosen. I have chosen one object and I am coming back to that. Okay, right? So, first thing is dharana requires effort. Okay, and second thing, dharana is the process which breaks. All right, so it's like I am pouring down water from a water bottle. All right, and what is happening as the wind gushes by, there is break in the water, right? So the wind, what it is doing, it's breaking the flow of the water, right? So this process where the flow is broken, but you have chosen the object, you are trying to stay with the object, right? This process is called concentration. Concentration naturally transcends into meditation, which is dhyan, right? So now we have come to dhyan. So the more practice or effort is put here. Okay. This, in the upcoming classes, I will introduce multiple techniques. All right. So your main focus should be that these two stages happen properly, because once you get established in these two stages, the third one happens naturally on its own, right? So nobody can make you meditate. It is something that comes to you. Okay. The stronger your concentration is, the more likely this stage is going to occur where you are going to be in a meditative state of mind. Okay. All right. So are there any doubts so far, any questions or queries that I can address? Otherwise, I will move to the next one.
No, okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, great. So now, through the practice of dharana again and again, we reach the stage called dhyan. Dhyan also has 3 qualities. All right. So in the Yoga Sutras, there is a text of yoga which is called Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So in Yoga Sutras, he has defined the meaning of dhyan, and there is no need to remember what he has said. I will list down the key qualities of what he has said. In that, he said an unbroken flow of the knowledge of object is meditation, right? So 3 qualities that show up, 3 things that we have to focus on. One is the object. Okay. So I'll just clear this. Now we are discussing dhyan. 3 qualities. 1, object. 2, unbroken flow. 3, knowledge. Okay. So when we withdraw the senses, we are giving ourselves an object that we try to focus or concentrate upon, right? Which is the stage of dharana, right? Now the same object is remaining when we come to meditation, all right? Like breathing. Earlier I was trying to concentrate on the breathing. I was making the effort, and now when I come to this stage, I am aware of the breath. All right, so my object is still there. My object is there, breath is still there. I'm just aware of it without any effort. Okay. The object is what changes, or the types of meditation, they come out of the change in object. So you can choose breathing, you can choose your body, you can choose a mantra, right? So object is what changes when we say that we have different kinds of meditation. All right. Then second quality that is highlighted over here is unbroken flow. So like in concentration, I said that the flow is continuously breaking, right? But when I come to meditation, when I reach this stage, the flow is unbroken, right? So now the thoughts which were again and again coming in, going out, taking me over here, over there, this break is not being caused. It's like I am pouring oil from a bottle, right? Now when the wind gushes by, you will see the oil will flow smoothly. The oil will not have break like the water. All right. So the flow has to be unbroken, right? When we are doing the meditation, right? Okay. And then there is constant knowledge. Okay. So sometimes, people, they say this thing that, we were practicing and we fell asleep, right? In between, for a moment, we fell asleep, right? So what happens when you fall asleep, right? You lose the knowledge of the breathing. If you take the example of breathing only, if I fall asleep when I'm trying to sit straight and do meditation, I lose the knowledge of that thing, right? The object that I have chosen. If you sleep while you are chanting the mantra in your head, again, you lose the knowledge of the object. So sometimes, students also come up with this doubt that, we were not sleeping, but we were not awake also, right? So I asked them, were you aware of your breathing or were you aware of your object? And they say no. And that state, which is in between, where I'm not sleeping also, right, but I'm not awake also, I completely disconnect from my object, right? So that state is not meditation, right? Because you lost this essential quality of having the knowledge of the object. Okay. So now, what you are trying to move towards, this should become clear, very clear, what dhyan is. Beginner level practices will require you to, you know, uh, uh, sit separately, right? But eventually it's going to come in your life only, the way in which you're conducting yourself or just living your life. Okay. And now let's come to where we are headed. What is the ultimate goal of meditation? So I said these days the scope of meditation is very restricted, no? It's seen as a tool. But the ultimate goal of meditation is samadhi. Samadhi. Samadhi is the stage of absorption. Okay. So sometimes, it happens with us, we are trying to concentrate on some work, and then slowly what happens? The effort gets suspended. Now I'm totally focused on what I'm trying to do. And then slowly, if I stay in that for some time, it turns into an it absorbs me. The task, it absorbs me, right? So now no noise, no nothing is going to disturb me. I'm completely absorbed in my work, right? So this absorption is what samadhi is. So you are headed towards samadhi, right? And what happens when you do this absorption? Why are you moving towards this absorption? No, this question really comes into the mind that, okay, meditation is, I'll just stop sharing. Wait. Yes, so this big question comes into my mind, why do I want to even achieve absorption? I mean, like, I'm existing fine without it. I'm able to do my everyday duties, fulfill them fine, right? So this samadhi is going to lead you to this final point. Samadhi is also of various types. And the final point of samadhi is the ultimate liberation, right? So, we are all struggling with something or the other in our lives, right? Isn't it? We are constantly struggling with something in our lives. There is something which is, asking us to look for a deeper meaning. That is why you have come in yoga. Otherwise, you would have, gone to some dance class. Dance class is so entertaining. It will help you to gain flexibility also. So all the major practices of yoga, if you go for a dance practice or any other sport, you gain very good control over your breathing as well, right? So all of these things that yoga is offering you, some other sport or something entertaining is also offering you. But you guys, you came here, right? Why? Because you're looking for something more, right? You're looking for something, searching for something deeper, right? And this absorption, helps you to finish this search for something deeper and get free from all these sufferings, not just one or two. Like I said, if you do meditation at the end of the day as a tool to set off, yes, you will become free maybe of the stresses of that day, right? But the practice has so much potential that it can not only free you from one or two sufferings, it can free you from all the sufferings of human life. All of these sufferings, everybody, is suffering or dealing with something or the other in their life, right? So to become free from all of this, the ultimate stage of liberation, it comes through the constant practice of dharana, which leads to dhyan, which ultimately moves you to the absorption stage. And the final point of this absorption is ultimate freedom. No burden, right? There's so much burden, no, that we carry every day. Burden of this thing, that thing, getting this thing done, that thing done. Freedom from all of this. The ultimate freedom comes from the practice of meditation, right? So your target should also be set. Don't aim for less. You can aim higher. You can choose to be free from all suffering. So why be free from one then? Right? Why limit the scope of this practice? Okay. Any questions, doubts, or queries so far? Any difficulties? No?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Good. All right. Okay. Great. All right. So let's just, meditation is like, tasting some food, right? Once you taste that food, you actually understand the taste of that food. All right. So in that same way, in these sessions, we will have multiple classes on different meditations, right? And your goal is to make the concentration stronger so that you can at least taste, what that state of mind is where it is becoming stable. In meditation, like I said, there are multiple objects. Okay, so depending on your personality, there is an ideal object for you, right? You cannot connect with each and every object. Some people connect more with breathing, some people connect more with a mantra, right? So everybody has a different object depending on their personality, right? So through these classes, we are going to try and experiment and see what different objects are, like which object we are able to connect with the most, right? And once you finish these classes, if any of these objects, so we won't be able to explore all the objects, there are multiple meditations, right? But whatever objects we explore here, if you find some object which you really connect with, then go ahead after these classes for your personal practice. Just keep that one practice. Okay, you don't have to do all the practices. You just have to find the most ideal one for you, the best fit for you, and then you have to stick to that practice for the remaining of the time, right? Whatever time you sit and practice meditation, you choose the same object and you deepen your practice in that. All right. Okay. So let's just go for a brief, short session of just becoming aware of our breath. And then tomorrow I will formally introduce your first topic. I will share some guidelines which will help you for meditation. And then I will begin with your first topic. But before I introduce that topic, we can still just follow as I'm guiding you. All right. And try to connect with your breathing. Okay. You have to do nothing. Just hear me out and just try to follow it as much as possible. Okay. So just wherever you are, just make sure you are sitting comfortably. Try to keep your back and neck straight. If it's possible, roll your shoulders slightly back and make sure your chin is parallel to the ground. Okay. And once you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. Very gently just allow the eyes to close. Slowly just start becoming aware of your breathing process. Watching each and every breath as it's moving in and moving out. So for better understanding of this movement, you can focus your attention to your nose, your nostrils, right and left nostril. It will help you to gain a better understanding of how the breath is moving. Try to feel your breath without making any changes. Just becoming aware of how you are breathing and allow the breath to flow like this. If your breathing is currently shallow, let it be that way. If it is deep, it is deep. If it is long, it is long. Just become aware of the pure breath. You just simply come in an observational state. Each and every time your mind wanders, very gently bring it back to the breathing. Just watching the breath like a gatekeeper. Keep bringing your mind back to your breathing. Trying to stay with the breath for as long as is possible. And now slowly suspend the practice. And begin to become aware of your body. If you feel the need, you can gently move your toes and your fingers. Keeping the back and neck straight, we are going to close today's session by chanting Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Take a deep inhalation for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just feel the vibrations. Join your palms together in front of your heart, gently bow down. Just taking out a few moments for some gratitude for everything we have. And now begin to rub your palms together. Place the palms on your eyes. Allow your eyes to absorb this heat. We will do this one more time. So rub the palms together properly. Keep them on your eyes. Now just spread this energy on your face and your neck, shoulders, and then take this energy to wherever you feel the need. Spread this energy on your body. While looking down and thinking, gently open up your eyes. And namaste to everyone. Let us continue our session about this breathing practice tomorrow. Right? So take care, enjoy the rest of your classes and the rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much, Soumya.
Bye-bye.